All right, here we go. This is Math 9 semester class. Are you ready for this? So this is my online lesson. This is Mr. McPhee here. Hello. Hope everything's going well in life. And we're going to be looking at something we did before the spring break, which was adding and subtracting polynomials just as a way to get things started and back on track. So remember we did questions like this where we were adding polynomials together, adding them. So that's a trinomial plus a binomial. And remember, we also did subtracting. And this in this case is a binomial minus a binomial. So we're going to go through these examples. Then you can go off and practice this and take a picture of your homework and then send it to the Microsoft Office 360 and attach that to the assignment that will be saying adding and subtracting polynomials. So adding like terms. The adding like terms, remember like terms first of all are polynomial or terms that are terms with the same variables and exponents. That's just a reminder of what that is. So when you're adding, remember adding polynomials, it is as simple as drop the brackets. So literally I'm going to just rewrite this without the brackets or the parentheses, and rewrite this without the brackets or the parentheses. So drop brackets, first step. Then I'm going to look for like terms, and remember like terms are terms that have the same variable and exponent. So here, that is an x squared term, that is an x squared term. So what I could do, depending on your mindset, I could write those together. They're ready to go. These are your x terms. Those are x's. I can write those together. Remember, always write the symbol in front. So plus 7x and plus 3x. And then we have the constants, the numbers that are by themselves with no variables. I can rewrite those as subtract 8 or minus 8, take away 5. And all I've done is reorder it. Reorder in like terms. And then I can just collect these like I'm collecting eggs. So 5x squared plus 2x squared. 5 eggs plus 2 eggs. 7 eggs. Plus. So then I'm adding 7x plus 3x. So 7x's plus 3x's is positive 10x, or just 10x. And then I am collecting my minus, my subtract, my minus 8 minus 5, or take away 5, and that is take away 13. And that is my final answer. So hopefully that rings a bell on adding polynomials and like terms. Here's another small example. So as soon as I see adding of polynomials, my first thing is rewrite it with no brackets. Rewrite it with no brackets. Just make sure you rewrite it properly. 9xy. So notice I did nothing except just rewrite that whole thing with no brackets. And now I'm going to collect my like terms. So here I have my x terms. So 7x, I can write them together if I want, or I can just keep them like this and just use my brain power. 7x plus negative 6x, which is another way of saying 7x take away 6x is just 1x. So those are done. Then I'll look at my y terms. Now notice, this is a 9y, that's an xy, that's an xy, not a y. So there is no other y's, so literally this is kind of trying to trick me. That I'm just going to rewrite it because there are no other y's. Now, are there any other xy terms? And I look through, yep. These two are the same, they're xy terms. So 7xy, take away 9xy. 7 take away 9 is take away 2. And what are they? They're xy's. And then I have this poor little 3, which has no like terms, and there's my final answer. The book will generally, for a coefficient out front for 1, they'll just write x, although 1x is just as good. And there's my final answer. All right, so that's adding. Now subtracting is very similar, except with one important but small twist. So subtracting polynomials, what you're going to do, as soon as you see a subtraction sign between two polynomials with brackets, you are then going to rewrite whatever is in front with no negative. So that's just, you're just going to rewrite this. That'll be 5x plus 7. So I'll rewrite that. But whatever brackets have a negative in front, the main thing is you are going to rewrite or add the opposite signs. And what I mean by that is you see the subtract in front of the brackets, you look inside the brackets, and you're going to rewrite this as, that's a positive 3x by itself, but you're going to rewrite the opposite. That's going to become take away 3x. And then you're also going to do the opposite of subtract 5. You are going to add 5. So notice what I did. Once again, the recap. Whatever was in front with no negative here at all, just rewrote it. Boom. Same thing as you're adding. The one with the negative sign in front, I went inside and just said, I'm going to write you as the opposite sign. I'm going to write you as the opposite sign. And now it's back to the same old process as adding, like you did in the first examples. So here, I would look at this and say, here's my like terms. 5x's, take away 3x's, 2x's. Positive 7 plus 5 is plus 12. There's my final answer. So next example, this polynomial or trinomial, take away this polynomial. Here, there's no negative out front, so literally recopy this whole polynomial, no change. This though, that subtracting this whole binomial means change its sign. Hey, you're now a positive 5x. Hey, you're now a negative 2. That's my first little baby step to get through it. And now collect like terms. So are there, here's my x squareds, or my x's, sorry. I got minus 6x plus 5x. Just be careful. Negative 6 plus 5 is negative 1. In this case, x. There are no other x squareds, so that just comes down. No change. And then I have, there's my numbers. Negative 7, take away 2, collect those together, gives me negative 9. Which, a few things here. That's a great answer. It's not wrong. One thing that the book would like to do with answers, they generally will put the term with the highest exponent first. So they'll put 9x squared, positive 9x squared first. Then they'll put the x term, which remember minus 1x, I can just write negative x, which is an imaginary 1 there. Negative 1 and minus 9. That would be the answer the book would have, but this is just as good. Last example, and then we're done. So, subtracting polynomials. This guy stays the same. Rewrite it. Subtract anything inside that whole bracket. Change the sign. Change the sign. And now I'm to collect like terms. So let's look at my x squareds. There's my x squareds. There's my x squareds. 3x squared, take away 3x squared. Well, that is 0x squareds. 4y squared, take away 3y squared. 4 take away 3 is 1, positive. Positive 1y squared. How do you think the book could write this? If you have 0 x squareds, you don't even have to write that. And plus 1, you don't have to write that either. The answer would just be y squared. But this is good too. This is just more convenient. Okay, that is it. So replay that video, stop it where you need to hear the information again, even go through these examples again, and then practice the questions that are associated with this. Okay, thank you.